Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Vetiva Capital Management and our media partners at Frontier Africa Reports, we would like to thank you for joining us on our breakfast meeting this morning. It is Friday, the 20th of August, 2021. As always, this meeting is being recorded and the audio file may be shared with third parties. The meeting is also being broadcast live on our Vetiva online page on Facebook and is set to last for 30 minutes. Over the course of the meeting, if you do have a question, you may use the Q&A box or you may use the comment function for those who are joining us on Facebook. On our agenda today, we'll get a rundown of capital markets from our traders for the fixed income market and the equities market. We will now start off with Symbiot from our Global Equities Desk, who will go over our equities. Good morning, Symbiot.
Good morning, Jose, and good morning to everyone. Like I mentioned, I'll be doing a rundown of the performance of some of the equities market in West Africa, and I'll be starting with BRVM. The index closed up by 1.11% yesterday. The market continues its bullish trend as we have seen consecutive positive closings last week, Thursday. Year-to-date return extending further to 20.86%. Stocks like Solubra Cordova have continued to ensure the upward trend. The consumer goods counter gained 24.2% in the last 1 week of trading. And the stock also topped the gainers chart yesterday with a 7.5% price appreciation. The markets also saw improvements in activity levels. Volume went up by 154%, while turnover did by 196%. Going into the last trading day of the week, we expect markets to close the week positive. And we also foresee investors starting to pick up, beating down names like Seacor and Safka Cordova. Over in Ghana, as expected, the Ghana markets traded in similar pattern yesterday. Like we had on Wednesday, index closed up by 8 basis points. Unilever Ghana remains the only gainer in the session, like we've been seeing all week, with a price appreciation of 9.79%. For actively traded stocks, MTN Ghana continues to dominate that chart, followed by Cowbank and Societe Generale. However, markets saw improvements in activity levels. Volume of shares traded increased by over 1,000%, majorly recovering from the very low levels they had on Wednesday. For today, we expect the market to close the week slightly positive, with improved demand on the back of names like ETI, Cowbank, MTN Ghana, and Societe Generale. Like we've always mentioned, for any of our listeners looking at exposure in any of these markets, they can reach out to us at dealing@vetiva.com and also to our sales team at sales@vetiva.com. I'll be sure to get back to them. Finally, in the Nigerian equities market, the market saw a reversal of Wednesday's red close. The index closed up 33 basis points. Investors bought up names across sectors. NACO topped the gainers chart with a 10% price appreciation. Honeyflower as well. Honeywell also gained 9.96%. And speaking specifically to Honeywell, the consumer goods stock has gained traction recently. We've seen the counter set new year high in the last 8 trading sessions, and year-to-date return at 148%. From Villas in the market, we heard that there are some unconfirmed news that Flour Mills is having some form of purchase interest in the company. And to also put it out there, their last full year results, their full year 2020 results, Honeywell posted a 73.1% growth in profits, and also paid a dividend of 7 kobo per share. That is why this news remains unconfirmed. And we'll be looking at these companies releasing statements to confirm any of these, to shed light on these news we've heard. And also, for the last trading day of the week, we've as we've expected, we continue to see increased demand in some small cap names, hence market trading mix. So going into today, we foresee market closing the week mildly positive, barring any major sell down in large cap counters, and sectoral performance also closing the week mixed. Thank you, and that'll be all from my end.
Thank you, Symbiote. We will now move to Amorige for fixed income and currencies. Good morning, Amorige.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. System liquidity improved slightly yesterday to open at 8.3 billion positive, coming from the 7.6 billion negative that was recorded on Wednesday, spurred by the increased funding pressure as players make funding provisions for the FS retail auction that is happening today. Money market retightening by an average of about 38 basis points, with OBB and overnight closing at 17.67 and 18.33 respectively. We expect interbank rate to trade at higher levels today as players continue to make funding provisions for the FS retail auction that is holding today. The parallel market lost about 3 naira yesterday to trade at 520 naira to $1, while the earning window opened at 411.61 naira to $1, while the highest rate that was recorded yesterday was 412.25 naira to $1, and the closing rate was 411.67 naira to $1. After consecutive days of losses, Brent and WTI gained 0.4% and 0.5% to open today at $66.72 and $64.04 per barrel, respectively. The TV's market traded on a relatively quiet note yesterday as continued interest we are seeing on the long-dated maturities, particularly on the 28th July 2022 and the 11th August 2022 maturities, while trades were majorly executed on the CBN Special NTB. That's the 30th August 2021. Overall, average benchmark rate remained unchanged at 4.56%. The OMO market traded on a relatively moderate note with bullish sentiment seen across all tenors. There were interest in on the mid-dated maturities, particularly on the February 8, 2022 paper, while trades were majorly executed on the 8th February 2022, 15 March 2022, and the 12th April 2022 maturities. Overall, average benchmark rate declined significantly by over 148 basis points to close yesterday at 5.94%. The bonds market traded on a very active note yesterday with bearish sentiment seen across the benchmark curve as market participants tried to offload their auction winnings. The secondary market saw heavy supply, and we observed rates on the 2050 paper inched up by 10 basis points to settle around 12.9% levels from the 12.8% levels that was allotted at the bond auction that held on Wednesday. Other maturities that also witnessed improved interest were 2035, 2036, and the 2049, while trades were majorly consummated on the 2028, 2026, and the 2050 maturities. Overall, average benchmark rate rose by about 5 basis points to close yesterday at 11.89%. The news that Nigeria will be tapping the international capital market next month to sell a portion of its planned $6.2 billion reinforced the sell-offs that we have seen in the Eurobond market in the past weeks as some players try to free up funds for the new issuance. We expect this sentiment to persist to close this week. For our expectations today, we expect the bonds market to close the week on a very bullish note as players trade sentiment around the Eurobond issuance slated for next month, while the TB's market is expected to close the week on a bullish note in the absence of any fresh supply in the OMO segment as the CBN has stayed away from that market for weeks now. That'll be all for fixed income. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amorige. We will now conclude with Bosin from Frontier Africa Reports and their updates. Good morning, Bosin. Please unmute Bosun so he may speak. Okay, it would appear we're having technical issues with Frontier Africa Reports. We have now come to the question and answer portion of the meeting. If you do have a question and would like to speak, you may raise your hand and we will give you an opportunity to speak, or you may use the Q&A box and we will respond. And for those joining us on Facebook, you may use your comment function and we will treat your question. Thank you. I see that we have no questions today. That means we've come to the conclusion of our meeting this morning. On behalf of Vetiva Capital Management and our media partners at Frontier Africa Reports, we would like to thank you all for joining us this morning. We continue to encourage everyone to keep safe, and we look forward to having you join us again on Monday at 8:30. Good morning.